Hello.
Hey, Milagros.
I love that we're live. This is our week.
Yes.
So we're going to have a great chat with Georgiana. So tell me, Georgiana, how have you been? How's your business now with the new changes?
Good, good. We're hanging in there. Just trying to stay abreast of everything that's happening. I think that's sort of the state of affairs around here of late, whether it's at home, at work, personal, or at Avon. It's just trying to stay on top of everything that's happening because there is so much information out there. So trying to put myself in a position where I'm checking my emails often, reading up on what's happening, and trying to make sure that I get the training to keep myself up to par with everything. How
Yeah,
about you?
good. I think that this is a great time for us to force our customers to order online.
You know, it's funny you say that because usually we do feel like we're forcing that we're trying to encourage everyone to order online. And now I feel like my customers are like, hey, I need this thing, but don't worry, I'll order online. And I'm like, okay,
Stay
have at
home.
it. Yeah, they're like, no, I got it. I'll order online. Don't come here.
This whole situation kind of works because they say, oh, I ran out of my skincare, I ran out of my cream. Do you have this fragrance at home? And I say, no, I don't have it. I can order it, but I'm going to show you how you can order online. So maybe it's going to reduce a lot of the face-to-face that we used to have,
Yeah.
the delivering, and we're probably going to be able to manage our business differently just because we now know how to say order online.
I feel like it's good. I love that you're finding the positive in everything that's happening. And I think that's super important at this time because it can be so easy to feel overwhelmed and stressed by the changes, but to also be open to them because, sometimes the changes happen for the better. And if you could see that positive in it kind of makes it not feel as like, oh my gosh, it's changing again. For
Yeah.
me, even in my office for years, I've been trying to get my coworkers to transition to a point where they could work from home. And I mean, here in New York, we have maybe snowstorms, the occasional flood, but we rarely have, work from home situations. But with snow, I fell once and I was like, that's it for me. I do not want to be sliding around in the snow anymore. I need to get myself in a place where I can work from home. So I made that transition where I could, how do I work from home? I get up at the same time, I create a routine. So I find with this change this year, having had that experience in the past, it kind of makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, I know that we don't have a problem with weather here in Florida because it's, nice weather all year round unless it rains. But I'm wondering if a lot of the representatives who live up north are looking at this like, oh, this is just a season, a snow season that we get to stay home.
Yeah, it's like an extended snow day. It's a snow day
Yeah,
turning into a snow month.
I was speaking to a prospect yesterday, and she was saying to me that everything is changing, and I was like, yeah, everything. Wait,
Hang on, Millie. We lost your camera for a second.
everything is changing real fast. I don't know. My camera keeps going off.
Just popped out.
Totally unintentional. So maybe we're have to look at this differently. Maybe schedule more Avon socials, work more on our pages. Maybe I can start working on my blog, which I've neglected a lot. It's there, but there's no new content. It's not like the Avon website that is always updated. We have to kind of work on our own websites. And I have many. How many websites do you have?
For me, I have just the one. I think the thing where I come into multiples is for social media. You know, the Instagrams, the Twitters, the Pinterest boards, the Facebook pages. But I try to keep, I have one website, but separate blogs, because I blog for personal and I blog for Avon. So yeah, it can be, what's the word? Intense. There's a lot to do. But like, what are some of the things for social media that you're doing? Not just for this time, but like with the free join Avon, like what are some of the things that you're putting into your social schedule?
I have been adding the opportunity in everything that I post. It's free to join my website link because I feel like this is such a great opportunity, even for customers to just check it out. What do they have to lose? You know, they get 25% of the orders. They get to try out the products before anyone else. And I love the new cream that's coming out. I look at.
I got my video.
I know. I knew you were gonna love that one.
I got all of my cashmere complexions. I actually did a live Monday or Tuesday, the days are a blur, where I was, you know, tried it out live. So yeah, the new products, loving.
I knew
Loving.
like the VDL.
The VDL,
the primer.
They gave me two samples, the Lumilayer primer and the primer fresh. The Lumilayer is kind of the one that just blurs your pores. They made that just for me. Somebody in Avon said, Georgie, I got you.
Your skin looks amazing, let me tell you. I love that. I love it.
Just gonna demo it for you real quick.
It's very quality, very stealthy. Yes.
This is the Lumilayer, so it gives you that like pore-less look, and then the primer fresh is the one that gives you that opalescent glow. This is why I'm saying you talk to Avon ladies. You're like, yeah, we have a new product. Let me show you.
So
this one.
Oh, I see the difference.
Yeah.
I didn't know the difference. You know, I only ordered one, thinking that that it was. Which one is your favorite?
I've actually been using both. I use the regular one as like a primer, like a base primer, but then the primer fresh I use as a highlighter. So when I finish my makeup, I do like my cheeks, my cupid's bow, and my nose with.
Oh, I see.
So you get some highlight. To be honest with you, I was going to do the same thing. I was actually going to also order just the primer fresh to cover my giant pores. But since they sent the sample, I was like, oh, I actually like both of them.
And the mission, what do you think about the new mission?
The new Avon's mission statement?
No, the mission, the new mission skincare.
You know, I haven't tried it.
It is so good, Georgiana. You know, I did a
sample.
We actually, I actually got to text my husband because I use so much product for skincare that I probably would never tell the difference. But he's not a skincare person. He's a man. So I'm forcing him to use the skincare so that
he's the guinea pig.
So he's gonna be, and he says, well, you know that I'm gonna tell you if it works or not. I'm like, yes, I'm sure. So I'm gonna have a testimonial pretty soon. So yeah, it's been challenging, you know, not having to do the craziness that I used to do, like go out and visit customers, businesses, and you know, we just have to be conscious enough to say we got to stay home.
Absolutely. Yeah. At the end of the day, like whenever I talk with friends or family, I'm saying that what's important is the good of the entire population. So if we could do a small part, then we might as well, you know, when you think of the scope of everything that's happening, to wash your hands or to practice social distancing, it seems it's just so insignificant in terms of everything that's happening. It's just to play a small role, but I think it's also important for us to realize that we're not stuck. I think sometimes we get into this mindset where we're like, well, everything stops, so we have to stop. There's nothing to do. And I always say that we have to be like, if you just watch my old videos, the words we use, the words we repeat to ourselves, kind of has that like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep repeating it to yourself, then it changes your mindset and changes your accents. So I feel like we have to not, even though we're inside, we're not stuck inside. We're not, I've seen such crazy things on social media, but we can still grow our businesses. We can still invest time in ourselves. I mean, now we have a lot of time for personal development, to read up, to build, to encourage ourselves, catch up on those old Facebook posts and videos that we used to watch. Yeah, so it's not a time of stuckness. It's just a time of looking at things differently, trying new ways to do things. And I think, at least for me, I've been finding, you and I spoke earlier in the year, and I was like, I was feeling overwhelmed because with the stuff that's happening in my family, I couldn't get out. And I remember you were telling me you don't have to be out every day. You can still do business stuff inside. And for me, it sounded just like, okay, that's a no-brainer, but it made so much sense. Like, it changed the way I was looking at everything that I was doing, because I was beating myself up for not going out,
One of the things that I used to do before is, like I would be, before I even consider having a schedule, I will be making dinner or doing something, and then a customer will call me and she would say, hey, do you have this product, or can you stop by and drop off the order instead of tomorrow? So I would leave everything that I was doing and run off and, go see the customer. They were, when I did that, they were close by, there was a neighbor or someone that lived in the area, but still the amount of time that you waste by just not, programming your day. And I figured that I need time to organize myself here. So, I have my days 3 times a week where I actually go out and visit customers, do prospecting, and so it's like things have to be differently now, and I'm looking forward to making more product videos and maybe sharing a new product transformation and sending it out to my customers with the link. So, getting creative.
That's a great idea.
So I'm getting more creative instead of hands-on.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the game, being more creative with the tools that you do have at hand. Like, we still have our phones. Like, in this day, this whole thing is like an office. It's so small, but it's so super powered. You can still call your customers, so it's not like you can't have contact with them. You can't have physical contact, but you can still call them on the phone. And I find that, especially in these times, those small things mean so much more, because you can get on the phone and have that, reach out to customers that are elderly or alone, to see how they're doing, just have that conversation with them, to encourage them. I'm finding that the people who reach out to me with encouraging text messages, just, a powerful word or words of encouragement, or hey, how you're doing, means so much more. Like, even my family, I'm not really a phone call person. I'm more of a text person, but we've been talking. We've been doing FaceTime. I've been doing like a Zoom video with my family so that we could see each other. And I'm like, I'm so thankful for technology, because it really does put all the tools at your fingertips. You can do Zoom meetings, you can do phone calls, you can do text messages. And like I was sharing with you earlier, being able to leverage the old school tools. Like, you may not be able to go do door to door, but you could still get your books door to door. You can still, like you said, with your sample packs, get your samples out to people as you go about your business. I had, keep talking, but I had some images of stuff that I was working on this past week, because to be honest with you, for the last month or so, I've been self-quarantined because I was like, I don't know what's happening.
I'm just not gonna be out there.
I play no games. But these are some sample packs that I was working on. So as I traveled, first of all, you want to make sure that you prepare your supplies that you're giving out to people in a clean atmosphere. So I always wash my hands, I always wear gloves, I always make sure that the samples in the books that I'm sharing are, properly prepared.
Are those the new ones that you got?
The samples?
Yeah, the sample packs or those. Those
yeah,
are the same ones, right? That you had. Yeah.
I
have to order. You sent me the link of because those that I had also.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to reorder them, but they're not available anymore. But you found a similar one.
Yeah, these are almost the same. They're just a little more square. Like that yellow thing is like a standard business card. Actually, let me see if I can rotate this. There you go. So it's like standard business card size, but you can see the sample behind it is one of the square samples that we used to have. And I use all my samples. None of my samples go to waste. I know this is an older product, but fragrance is fragrance. You just need to open the door to have that conversation.
Love the free to join cards.
Thank you. I've managed to get those out. I'm going to show you. Let me see if I have another picture. I also mailed them out with my brochures. So these are the brochures, campaign 8 that I mailed out to my customers. My customers also got that free join Avon.
It's so eye-catching. I love it.
Yellow.
Wow, so pretty. I'm excited that we got the opportunity to have the free to join. It really made a big difference on the way and the way that I approach people, because that sometimes you feel like you're bothering people, and if you ask them to join, a squirrel. Don't do that to me.
What happened?
Oh gosh.
It's saying hello. It wants to be on the call.
So yes, I was like I was saying, the way that I approach people, sometimes makes you feel like, oh, you're bothering, you're bothering somebody by asking them to join. But this incentive really gave me an idea of how I could do that easily, because it's free. So you're want everybody to take advantage of it. So the thing that I'm taking back from this whole incentive is to be able to continue to reach out to people and asking them, hey, I have a great Avon business. Would you be able to recommend someone that could use this opportunity? So it really, to be able to reach out through social media, that has been actually my biggest return, to send messages through social media to some of my friends that are not with Avon.
Yeah.
So what was your biggest takeaway from?
For me, I have two. Okay, there was this. I'll make a long story short, but there was an instance where I was out in Michael's, of course, because that's where I live. And I, whenever I go out, I have my basket of Avon samples, and I had the basket in the car. And as I was going through, I was just talking to the people that I passed. And I think that was, a couple of weeks ago before self-quarantine, where we were still out, but distant. And there was this lady that I stopped to talk to, and she was saying how her mother actually used to sell when she was younger, and she had gotten into the business, and she she knew about unpacking the boxes and the samples, and they used to have Avon parties, and she was telling me about all the things that they used to do. So of course I'm telling her about all the brand new things that we do now, online social media parties, how we have the website and Avon ships to you. And I think when she sold, the Avon was just introducing the website. So all the new things that we have now, even while we were talking, I was able to just text her the digital brochure, because we struck up the conversation, and I was like, I had the little sample packs in my basket, and I had my brochures in the car. But instead of breaking the conversation and running to the car to get the brochures, and maybe losing track of each other in the store, I said, "Oh, what's your phone number? I'll just message you the book." So even then and there, she got the book right in her hand, and she's like, "Oh wow, yeah, I just got it. This is pretty cool." And just be able to have that conversation with her and hear about the impact that it had on her life as a young woman growing up with a mom who sold Avon, those stories always touch my heart, because wherever I go, whenever I talk to people, those are the stories that I get. And I do know, I feel the same way sometimes, as you said, when you're about to introduce the opportunity to someone, and you kind of have that moment of fear or intimidation where you're like, should I share? Is it going to be weird? Are they going to feel annoyed? But then the moments when I get stories like the story that she shared with me, I'm like, that just made it worth it. Yeah. it kind of validates what you're doing, because I could see the impact that it had on her. So she's now a customer. But it was kind of like an instance where I got to see the new tools that we have at play, and that's why I think it's so important to stay abreast of all the new things that are happening, because maybe at the moment you see it, you hear about it, it doesn't really connect in your brain, but when you're able to implement it, you're like, okay, now I see this working, this is amazing, I'm going to keep using this, I'm going to keep telling my team about it. But the other thing for me that's been working, like I said, I think it's the old school stuff, the phone calls, the text messaging, the emails. I think most of my recruiting efforts were originally face-to-face. Like I printed out my cards, I set a goal for myself, I ordered 1,000 cards, and I was like, I want to get these cards into the hands of 1,000 people. And, be that whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. But I wanted to just plant the seeds. But a lot of the new teammates that we have, I've been finding are teammates that I've gotten from past efforts. So I think it's also important to keep in mind that sometimes these things happen. And I was sharing, with you last week how I was feeling like, okay, this is not working out the way that I planned. But also keeping in mind that, you are just planting the seeds, because a lot of the people that I've had join for this incentive were contacts that I had a long time ago. People that were interested in joining that didn't get a chance to, whether it was a bad time or now is a better time, or where the free join allows them to do it.
Sharing news. Hey, it's either now or never.
Yeah, it's free. Like if you really want to do it, just get it done now. So I think a lot of people are seeing that. So I think that it's also important to plant those seeds, just
I love that.
What you sowed yesterday is what you get to reap today. But if you don't sow today, you don't get to reap anything tomorrow. So again, going back to what we were saying in the beginning, it's not a time to just sit on our hands and say we're stuck. It's a time to keep planting and moving and putting the information out there, be it through social media or snail mail or text messaging, whatever system works for you, because there's so many, just doing something.
Yeah, you can confirm this because you do a lot of social media and a lot of posting to get an online presence.
Yeah,
I have found that you never know what post is going to give you that sale, or it's going to give you that recruiting.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. You could be posting for years, and then all of a sudden you're like, everybody found me.
Yeah, like where have you been? Like, I kid you not, 100%. And you were saying, like, talking about working on your blog earlier, but the blog, it's something where you could be blogging and adding images and doing and not seeing the feedback right away, and then one day all of a sudden your sales skyrocket, or somebody reaches to you out of the blue like, oh yeah, I cannot tell you for the life of me how many times people will tell me, oh yeah, I saw the video that you just posted, and I'm like, oh, which video was that? And then when they talk about it, I'm like, That video like 4 years ago.
Or like, I found you really just now.
I've always been here. That's the thing with social media. It's like with your neighbors. You could have a neighbor that you live next to. This is me because I get up, I go to work, or I go out and do what I have to do, and I come back. But you could have a neighbor that you live next to for years, and then it's just that right time when you two are out shoveling snow together, or something random that you guys like actually meet. You know, and you go from just knowing about each other to meeting. It's 10 times as hard on the internet because now there are millions of billions of people putting out information. So yeah, it takes a little bit more time, but it also takes effort, and that's, I think, where consistency comes into play. Because if you post and for a week and you say, okay, this is more, and you stop, you'll never know what could have happened after a year or 2 or 3. And I think too, the other day I was reading an article. Um, of course, I remember maybe Entrepreneur, one of those places, but there was a blogger, and a lot of times we see these bloggers with millions of followers and millions of brand endorsements. You know, they're huge influencers, and we want to be that person right then and there in their career at this moment in time. But this person was sharing that she's actually been doing this for like 3 years. She worked on it 3 or 4 years before she saw a single dollar, like no earnings for 3 or 4 years. And then all of a sudden, you know, just doing it consistently because it was something she was passionate about. Your fashion, but she consistently posted pictures. She stuck with it. And I was like, if we and our businesses and our teams, if we had this mindset where we did this because we loved it and we were consistent and passionate about it, and we weren't doing this like for 2 or 3 days before we quit. You know, I was like, it took her 3 years.
Yes, I know, of not missing one day or posting, you know, content that is actually good for the followers. What would you recommend, like for someone who is just new at social media or online, building an online presence? What to you? What would be something that some kind of homework that you would give that person to do and consistently do it and not give up?
I would say, first and foremost, pick a channel or two. Is it going to be Facebook and Instagram, or Facebook and Twitter? Or if you're starting off, I would say, you know, start off with one or two and then branch off from there. Or if it's going to be a blog and Instagram, a blog and Facebook, or whatever. But then I would incorporate, I highly, highly recommend, and I tell my teammates, use the Avon social because they have beautiful images. They help you kind of curate what content to put on it. And you can take it and take a, okay, 3-step process. First, pick your social media channels. Then use Avon Social to post to those channels, like you said, regularly, consistently. And then 3, make it your own. I try very much not to just copy and paste exactly what they give me. I try to edit it and make it sound like it's my voice. So I'll read what they say. I might copy it and paste it and then change some of the words or add some of my own thoughts or my own experiences into it. Or I might just completely write my own thing from it. But those images, I feel like they're there to give you an idea of what to do so that you don't get stagnant, because it is hard to generate fresh content. But not to just copy it word for word, or not to just put up the images alone. I think it's also important to add that little description, because that's where your voice comes in, and that's what separates you from every other rep that's posting the same picture.
And it's so easy to create content now with the Avon Social. You can set up a whole week. It's a whole week, and I usually do them on Sundays. Sundays is the Sundays or Mondays, but all my posts, you know, they finish on Sunday. So I either do it on Sunday or on Monday morning. And I have a lot of pages. So with my health and wellness page, then I have to create the post for my health and wellness. And then I have the Spanish page. And then I have to create content for that. And then I have the other pages, which are in English.
Mhm.
But I still find myself that is so fast. I can do this so
A lot
fast.
faster. Yeah.
It takes no brainer. It takes, I mean, yes, I like to be creative, just like you said.
Mhm.
But for someone who doesn't have experience, definitely listen
Yeah.
to Georgiana. She is the internet guru.
Makes it easier. I just, when I'm good with it, I remember at one point I was scheduling out like a month just to make sure that I had one post every day. Sunday's my day off. That's the only day that on my schedule wouldn't have a post. But I was definitely seeing the return when it came to customers and recruits. Social media presence, the uptick in followers, the conversations that were happening on my pages, and to be able to schedule it and then just forget about it and walk away, it's just so good.
You have nothing to worry about it for a whole week. So
Yeah,
you guys just take this as a learning experience, and I would love if you can share what it is that you're doing so everyone can
totally.
learn. We can also learn from you. So if you want to tell us what it is that's working for you while you're working from home more, we would love to hear from you.
Post your questions, post your pictures, what's working. If you want to learn more, if you started and you've stopped, definitely get back to it. We're both telling you it takes time. So definitely be encouraged by this, because we're also, Milagros and I are learning and growing too. We're not just sitting up here like everything is perfect. This is how it works. It's a experience of learning and growing and changing and improving. That's why we do these talks. And that's why we want to include you guys into these talks so that you can see how planning. Hey. I did not know that I could see like, I just saw something to click and I was like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's awesome. I love
so
that.
share
Hi,
your comments. Yeah, everybody who's watching, share your comments. We could definitely maybe do Q&A one day if you guys want. Millie and I can come on here and help answer your questions now that I know we can share them like that.
Wow, I like that. So yeah,
Guys,
let's just unite forces and give each other encouragement while we're going through this stay home process. Don't
yeah.
go out, stay
But
home.
how great is it? Like, you're in Florida, I'm in New York, and we could still get together and connect with all of these other people who are watching from wherever.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So let's do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Georgiana,
Thank
for
you, Milagros. It's
for
always a
sharing
pleasure.
and for being so wonderful.
You too. We keep each other encouraged.
And
All right, Millie.
we will see you. Maybe we'll do another call instead of once a month. We'll do something else now that we'll plan something.
Yeah, let me know. And you guys who are watching, also, if you guys want to see something, if you've got some burning questions that you're dying to ask me, Milagros, because we're not sharing everything else on social media, or if you just want to chat with us a little, let us know. We can put something together. I'm up for that.
Me too. Yeah, just write down whatever it is that you want to talk about, a topic that maybe you want us to develop and share with you, and we would
Comment.
love to comment below.
Yeah.
Share this video with your teammates, with your your group, so that everyone can get a little motivation and ideas on how to work more from home.
Yeah. We got this. You guys got this.
So how should we name this video?
Oh, we talked about so much. If you guys who are watching have ideas on how we should name this video, I always look at naming things. That is like not my strength.
How would you like us to name this video? It's gonna be on our YouTube channel. So
Well,
Georgiana, your
thanks
followers.
for sharing, Suzanne.
in your YouTube channel, Georgiana Haynes. She has a beautiful YouTube channel, lots of content, trainings. So is the video is gonna be there. We gotta think of a good name. So thank you guys for being here with us, and we will see you on the next chat with Georgiana and Milagros.
She's Milagros. I'm Georgiana.
I'm self-introducing myself.
I like that our names are like right here, and we're like, I'm Georgiana.
Hello, Milagros. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.